Welcome to sherwoodphoenix.co.uk. I'm Stephen Pringle. I'm one of the founders and directors here, and today I'm just going to talk to you about some of the stuff that we have done in the past and we still do today, but in a slightly different way. So we have got a Kramer of London upright piano. We've got the Paul Gerard, not the football player, and we've got the Cake. That's a German piano. So we've got two British pianos and a German upright. There's a couple of Steinways that are in the background here. These are pianos that were just in the process. They just come into a stock and they're just about to start their rebuild process. But yeah, so originally a piano like this is roughly where I started my career as a piano technician, dismantling these old pianos and just learning about the parts and the process of the action and the whole thing about basically just rebuilding pianos. And one of the best ways to actually learn about the piano action is just physically looking at it. If you're from an engineering background, or you're maybe not from an engineering background because you're 10 years old like I was when I started, therefore I was basically, I had no background other than my mother and father at the time. I just originally fell in love with the actual mechanism, and you know, when you press the key, what actually happens. And it was like, it really fascinated me just watching the key go back and forward and watching each part of the action doing what it's supposed to do. And in some cases, like this one here, it's not doing something it's supposed to do. There's an error happening in this particular part, and that was the thing that got me particularly excited about piano at the time. Apart from obviously playing, but unfortunately my playing was never great. Therefore, I ended up in the piano technician game, more so as a hobby than a player, even at the time. So I've been doing piano technical work now for about 30 years, and I'm fortunate enough to employ a team of 12 people who help us with the rebuild process at Sherwood Phoenix. Now the hard thing now is you're seeing hundreds, if not thousands, of pianos like this on eBay, Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, and certainly we even put pianos on to these places. So you might have even found this video on one of those platforms today. And the reality is, the value of a piano like this now is possibly anything as little as a penny, a pound, £5, £100, £150. There's no great value as such, because the market has completely changed. People, instead of buying an old piano like this, they will buy a digital piano, a cheap beginner digital piano. Now the interesting thing between buying a cheap digital piano and a working upright acoustic piano that is also cheap, the difference is the digital piano a cheap digital piano will not feel like a piano. It will not sound particularly good as a piano, and it will also probably have a short lifespan. Whereas a piano like this is about 100 years old. There is problems with this particular one, particularly with the action. As you can see, that we've got a sticking note there. That there is a part of the felt in there that's causing that to jam, which I can see just straight away by looking at it. But the problem with these is we will charge quite a lot of money to fully rebuild a piano of this quality. Whereas that's why now when we're rebuilding pianos, we do look at pianos such as Steinways, Bosendorfers, Blufners, Bechsteins, August Forster, Schimmel, Grote and Steinwegs, all the top quality German piano makers really, Austrian as well, including the Bosendorfer. But pianos like this, I think what's going to happen probably in the next 10 to 20 years is something similar to what's happened with records in the last kind of 20, 30 years. They completely went out of fashion, and now all of a sudden everyone's out down the charity shops and out the markets trying to find some really amazing vinyl records. And I think that's what will happen with the better quality upright pianos and grand pianos of this kind of era. But in the meantime, my personal fear is that we just smash all these great wonderful instruments up and we're left with very little good pianos. This is a piano, so this is an overstrung underdamper British made piano, and of a decent quality. Kramer made a lot of pianos, particularly in the 20s, 30s, and certainly they made a good quality piano, and it's a shame to bin something like this. As you can see, this piano is still playing. It's had very little maintenance. You can see there's been one bass string replaced here, and that's probably been done in the last 10 or 15 years, just given the colour. You can see the colour difference between the I'll call it the new one against the original strings there. So you can, that quite clearly stands out as a replacement. And also these tapes have been replaced as well along the way. There's a green one there as well that's probably been a fix at some point, and then they've probably realised that a lot more are going, and somebody's decided they're going to put it to the test and try and break them and replace the ones that break. So they've replaced quite a few. So that, again, it's the kind of thing that you could buy this piano, or more or less, we more or less give you it, so you can come and have a shot at learning a bit about the technical side. It'll cost nearly nothing to learn. We're willing to advise to a point as well. There is certain things that I would and wouldn't do just straight off the cuff, but it's certainly there's no better way to learn than actually just get a shot of it yourself. The other thing we are doing with these is we're starting to look at other ways we can utilise the piano. When you take the action and the keyboard and key bed out, you can turn these into nice benches, you can turn them into wall art, you can make bookcases out of them. The keys, you can do many things, even just art displays, turn them into clocks. And certainly this is one of the ones Josh makes. Josh works with us and he does this in his spare times. He makes key rings out of the hammerheads, and he makes all sorts of things out of the action parts. It's just a part-time hobby, and there's loads of things you can do. So we've got 1, 2, 3 pianos. It's something like this one here, which has got quite a pretty case on it, and the original ivory keys, and certainly something like this inlay here. You can make a really nice wall display out of something like that, or possibly you can take these out and put a couple of mirrors in and make a slightly larger wall display with a couple of small mirrors in it. I've seen the fall boards being taken off and turned into shelving. Just many other ways to be creative with the current parts that we've got left. Apart from anything else, if you really want to, you could take the time to start restoring and learning about restoring pianos. It's a great hobby, and certainly one I've practiced for 30 years, and I've taken it quite seriously. If you've ever been to Sherwood, Phoenix, you'll know that, and you're certainly welcome to come down. We are here Monday to Saturday, 10 till 5, and any other time by appointment. This is a grand action, very different to an upright piano action, but you've got to remember, so in a grand action, it's not, whilst it's very different, there's still a similar makeup of parts. That's a good one because it's broken off. So that's an example of a hammer, a shank, and a roller. Unfortunately, it has broke off the flange there, which is a shame, but it's ultimately part of the reason why we're currently dismantling this piano, and we are going to use this as parts. We'll either sell the piano in its parts with it's an 88 note keyboard in this particular one, as most pianos are, as you might be aware. If you don't, then yeah, most pianos have 88 keys or 85. That's the kind of two standards. But yeah, that's just one part. So we've got 88 of them, 88 of everything in the action assembly. Then we've got 88 keys as well. So there's so many things you could do with all of those parts that would make a really cool display, or possibly something as simple as a keyring for a piano enthusiast. So if you've got any questions, or you want to check out some of our eBay listings, you will find us selling the parts off on eBay. And if you want to come down and pick some parts, then the chances are we have got thousands of them. As we're dismantling more and more pianos all the time now, and we're keeping the best, and we're also trying to find the happy medium of there's some pianos that you'll find us putting on eBay that are actually okay pianos, but we're not going to sell them with a 5-year warranty, a free delivery that we have, and a stool. And as you can imagine, for us to actually facilitate that in a business-like manner, we do need to we need to facilitate. We need to have enough basically profit in the sale in order to facilitate all of that within a sale. So there's no way around that as such. And unfortunately, a piano like this doesn't allow us to do that. But it's still a large part of our business. It's the history of myself with pianos, and it's sad to see the day where we basically needing to dismantle pianos like this. But yeah, so I'm trying to, and I will do. Hopefully, I've got another 30 or 40 years left in my career. Hopefully, I can basically keep saving pianos and giving them another one life, or if not another 2 lives, in some occasions. And that's the whole idea of Sherwood Phoenix, is to keep the whole idea of an old piano, keep it alive and keep it going and giving it another shot again. Sometimes it is too far, and the cost to repair does exceed the final value of a piano, and that's why we are mostly specialising now in doing Steinways, Bosendorfers, and Bechsteins, Blüthners and the like. And certainly these two will be fantastic examples, both of which right now they're actually not horrendous pianos. It's just when we sell a piano like that, we want it to be absolutely perfect. And certainly if you come down and see what we've got here, you'll see exactly what we mean by that. We've got probably about 30 Steinways in our stock at the minute, many Bechsteins, Blüthners, and quite a few Bosendorfers as well. We've just had the Fazioli in, but it sold quite quickly. You don't see many Faziolis in the UK, but we do when there is some in stock in the UK. We tend to have one of them. So yeah, any questions at all about what we can do with pianos of this ilk, do get in contact with us. My name's Stephen with PH. It's Stephen@sherwoodphoenix.co.uk if you want to drop us an email. And certainly if you want to come down and have a look at parts and see what you can have, then we have nearly always got 2 or 3 pianos like this in the process of being dismantled or reused. These pianos are mostly coming in as trade-ins against other pianos, or normally of this kind of ilk, or something even like the Crystal Steinhoven here, or something possibly like the more modern white Steinhoven at the back. These are just some examples of more modern pianos that we are currently selling. So you're welcome to come down and just try some pianos out, learn about the parts. You maybe don't even want to learn piano, but you like the idea of doing some crafting with piano parts, will not be offended. Just come down and you can have a walk around. We've got over 250 pianos on display. We've got over 300 artifacts of all sorts, between artwork, statues, and some really nice historic musical museum pieces, cars. We have motorbikes. We've got about 300 guitars in stock as well at the minute, at our sister company, which is thegita.co.uk. So it's a great day out. If you just want to come down and have a look around, you're more than welcome. Thanks again for watching, folks. I'm Stephen Pringle. We're sherwoodphoenix.co.uk. We look forward to seeing you. Bye for now.